We're we're live. I almost forgot time. We are live, everyone. Good evening. Hi, this is the voice and the face of Dr. Olabintan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Livingspring Family Medical Center in the beautiful city of Mansfield, Texas, where we help our patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. I'm very excited today to have a repeat guest, the one and the only Dr. Michelle Quirk. So good to see
Oh,
you, dog.
so good to see you too. Thanks for having me back.
Yes. Now, today we're talking about tips to making fitness fun for the whole family. So this promises to be a very good one. If you are watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching replay, hashtag replay. And without further ado, um, Dr. Cork, could you introduce yourself again? Who are you and what do you do?
Sure. Well, I am a pediatrician and I'm a running coach. And I am the owner of Mindful Marathon, which is my run coaching business. But we're not just going to talk about running tonight. This is all types of fitness for the family. So I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome, Doc. But why do you do what you do? What got you into running?
Yeah, I think the short answer is probably I do what I do to show people that it's possible for them because I was the least likely person to become a runner or a marathoner. I was, a kid who did not run. I was not a track star or on the cross country team or anything like that. I was not much of an athlete growing up, and running was always really hard for me, but I've always wanted to do it. And so I came to the sport a lot later on, like in my 30s, and I started by running like 5 minutes around the block. And worked my way up to a 5K and 10K, got the family involved, half marathon, full marathon, became a running coach. And so I think my journey is to just inspire people to say that maybe the thoughts that you had in your head when you were younger, if you were not always a runner, it is possible for you. And I'm a good example of that.
Honestly, looking at you, it's hard to believe that you did fit the prototype. But for those of you who don't know, you should go watch her story and read her story, and you see she's not making this up. So thank you for showing people what is possible.
My pleasure.
So my next question, we're talking about exercising as a family. Why is that important? Why are we having this conversation? Like, why is that important?
Yeah, I think it's important to get the whole family involved. We know that fitness is really good for us for a lot of different reasons, for our physical health and our mental health. But it's really hard to fit it in the schedule, and it's really hard to get it done. And I think getting the whole family involved, we have a better chance of succeeding at what we set out to do. And I think, to get our children and the adults in the family to get an activity that we all enjoy doing together, it helps both our own physical and mental health, but also the bond with the family as well.
Okay, so I have someone who's watching is like, I don't think my husband would agree to this. Or are there any hacks?
Yes. I think, a couple of hacks. I think one would be ask everybody what they like to do. And they might not have an answer yet, but you may have some answers. What does everybody in the household like to do? I think two activities that I could suggest that are a very low barrier to entry in terms of like, you don't need much equipment, it doesn't cost much, maybe nothing, right? Would be walking or hiking. Like those are my two family activities that I feel like you can get most people on board. Even if you just say, let's walk around the block for 10 minutes after dinner, let's get everybody's sneakers on, let's get out the door. I feel like that has a low barrier of entry, even for the skeptics among us and for the people who say that they just don't have time. We can fit in 10 minutes after dinner, I feel like. And then we work up from there. So those are probably my two best suggestions, especially if you have a lot of skeptics in the household, but walking and hiking.
Walking and hiking. Okay, let's talk about hiking.
Mm-hmm.
Scares me.
Oh, okay.
like hiking sounds like you're climbing up mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
So
you can, but you don't have to.
Okay, so let's tease that a little bit. So when you say hiking, um, for a newbie or who's like, oh, hiking sounds a little intimidating. What are tips? Like, do you find a local hiking trail that's a little like flat line, flat plane, and then
Yes. I think two ideas. One would be, yes, you want to start with something that is going to be easy for everybody. So something flat and something that, it doesn't have a lot of rocks and like things that you could trip over. So
okay,
a nice nature walk maybe
okay.
would be a great place to start. And even your local website for like parks and recreation. I
Um,
live in Philadelphia, but like check out your city or your town and the Parks and Rec website and see if there is some suggestions for easy hikes for the family there. And the other place you can look online is called All Trails. That has all different trails from people who hike the trail and then give reviews. So you can look it up and say, okay, what are the other people saying? Is this hard? Is this easy? Does it have elevation? And you can see all of that. So it's important to start with something flat and easy, and you can ease your way in. I don't want you to go, up a cliff and be scared.
I like that. Start flat and easy. I knew they had to be flat areas to walk.
For sure, for sure. And it doesn't have to be, it can be a paved trail also. Like there are lots of walking trails, biking trails, trails that used to be railroads, right? They call them rail trails that are
Mhm.
paved now, and that's a great place to start too. And it's a way to get out in nature and keep things simple. But yeah, you don't have to climb a mountain in order to hike.
I like that. And I put that link here. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, www.alltrails.com. All right. Awesome. Now, let's talk about for those who are watching who's like, I don't know about, it sounds a little too structured. It sounds a little too synchronized. Are there are there tips in the day for someone who's saying, I don't even have time to spend with my kids, or like to carve out this time seems like
Mm,
more pressure on me,
yeah.
or I have to take some people to games and I feel so pulled in different directions. Are there any quick tips to weave it in to what
Hmm.
we already do? What would you say, Doc?
Yeah, I love the idea of weaving it into what we already do. So if you are wherever you are, if you're working, if you're in a building that has stairs, I would take the stairs versus an elevator. Now maybe, not if you need to go 20 floors, but opt for the stairs instead of an elevator. That's like an easy way to give yourself some fitness in the day. Especially if you have, I'm a pediatrician, I'm going up and down the stairs in the office all day and I avoid the elevator. So take the stairs, avoid the elevator. The other one is, can you add a walk in somewhere in the day? Maybe during, if you get a break for lunch, or if you have a little bit of time in between doing things for work, or when you're dropping kids off to, for example, an after school program or a sports practice for them, can you get a walk in or a little bit of exercise while your kids are doing their activity? Can you do whatever it is, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes even? Can you fit that in for yourself? So think about where you can put that into your day when you might have a chance to do a little bit of extra walking and a little bit of extra taking the stairs.
I
Those are
love
my quickie ones.
I love that. So find whatever you're doing, there's a way. There's a way. Just think
There's a
about
way.
different ways to do that. Now, my next question, I love that you're a pediatrician. So I have, moms or dads who are watching now. And the truth is, it's easier to do certain things when they're more a habit.
Mhm.
You've grown doing that. So let's talk next generation. So, what are your tips? Like, how does leading an active lifestyle as a family positively impact children's health habits?
Yeah, I think this is such a great point to bring up. Having the adults sort of set the stage and be the role model can help so much for the future, because kids are growing up thinking like, okay, this is normal. Like we go we go out for a walk after dinner, or we go on a hike on the weekend. Like this is just, this is normal for them, and this is setting the stage for better health outcomes for the kids, not just the adults, but the kids as they get older, because physical activity will have been something they have grown up with their whole lives, and they're more likely to continue it in their adulthood. And we know physical activity, right, is so good for us. It lowers our risk of heart disease and high blood pressure and diabetes and all of these things that we talk about in the exam room. But when we look at it in real life, really and truly, like we're living, we're healthier, we're happier, we're sleeping better. Like we're just doing such a great thing for our kids by showing them, by leading by example and showing them all the great things that exercise brings to our life. So I feel like it's we're making a good argument for fitness as a family.
I love that. And sometimes, oh, by the way, Dr. Hunda says hi. Hi, Dr. Hunda. And sometimes we tend to feel, oh, I don't spend enough time with my family. I feel we're so busy. But someone said this: people will remember not necessarily what you gave them, you can, but how you make them feel, the memories you build with them. So
Yeah.
I sometimes see exercise as a way to kill two birds with one stone. So I'm exercising with my kids or with my husband, or we're talking and having date night, or we're having conversation, but so batch it. So
Yep.
creative ideas, and we're creating memories with our family members that they would take with them, and also do the same thing with their family. So what we're doing is an investment in legacy.
Oh,
It's much bigger. I'm able to make better decisions now because some of the things my parents did, that was a habit.
Mm-hmm.
So those who are watching, what Dr. Quirk is saying here is very, very important for us to normalize this, so the next generation is not as hard, especially in the age of social media and more gadgets and everyone sitting down, right?
May I share this too? In our family, you know this about me, Dr. Tolu, that I love Run Disney races. And I feel like I have sort of roped in the family. Like my mom has run one with me, my mother-in-law, my husband. Now I'm working on my niece and nephew and my sister, and we're probably going to sign up for one in the fall, but my niece is thinking about doing her first half marathon. So you do lead by example, even when you don't realize. Like I had never had a conversation about this with my niece and nephew really, but then at Thanksgiving this year, she was like, I think I want to do this. Sign me up.
I love it. You're a positive peer pressure. I like that, duh. I like it. All right. So I have someone who's watching who's like, you don't understand. There's so many challenges to doing because that's what the man would say, right? First of all, throw out, this is not possible, or this is not for you. But are there specific challenges families commonly face when trying to maintain a healthy, active lifestyle? And how can they be addressed?
Yeah, I think the biggest one might be time. I feel like there's just not enough time in the day. And it's one of those things that if we don't think about it, the whole day goes by and we're all ready for bed. We're so tired by the end of the day. And then we realize, oh, we meant to have some physical activity. We meant to do some fitness, but we never fit it into the day. So I think time is the biggest one. And I don't know if it's a hack so much as how can we recognize it and kind of plan for it. This is what I do with my runners as well, and I do it myself. But usually at the beginning of the week, I look at the entire week and think, okay, when am I going to do my runs? Or when can I fit in whatever fitness it is that you like? Am I going to walk, 3 days a week? Whatever your goal is, where can you fit it in, and kind of look at your schedule ahead of time so that it's not an afterthought. Like we want to put it there at the beginning of the week and not make it the afterthought at like 9:00 at night. Like, oh no, I never did anything today. And then we feel bad about it. So even if you start with 5 or 10 minutes a couple of times a week, it's a good baseline. It's a good place to start, and just start with walking again. Like walking does wonders. And you can go up from there, right? Like the world is your oyster, but start with something. So I think time is a big one. Let's see, what other ones? What ones do you hear in your office?
A lot of times they're like, everyone has different schedules, so still with the time. Or someone says, oh, my guy doesn't exercise, is not his thing. Or one person overdoes it, like it's really intense and looks really like they're going to the army when they exercise, and the other's like, I just want to go chill.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, different levels, and also people who like different things. So I have a lot of people who like to walk or run, and maybe their partner likes to ride the bike. You can do that. You can still work that in together, but it might be a situation where you go out at the same time, and maybe you start and finish in the same place, but the person who's on the bike may do a couple of extra laps than the person who's walking or running. The other thing, I do have families who go to like a Y, for example, like a YMCA together, and maybe, someone is doing a swim, someone is taking a Zumba class, and somebody's playing basketball. Like that might work for you if you all belong to a Y and you have the ability to do that. There might be different activities there that, pique people's interests, and you don't necessarily have to do it together, but you can go in the same car and come home together. And I think that works for some people too.
That's a good idea. So synchronize whatever it is, just the same time. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Now I have someone who's watching who's like, oh yeah, all of this sounds good. My kids like to be on the tablet. They're on, on computers, and everyone seems to be glued. And sometimes, my spouse is on their phone. That's a big challenge. Do you have any tips?
Boundaries with the electronics, right? It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I'm no different, right? Like I have to be very mindful of how much time I am on social media as well. So I think striking a balance. I'm not saying, we can't throw out our phones and throw out the tablet, right? Like they're here to stay. Yes. But we can work around maybe some boundaries, whatever within reason, right? In your household, whatever that is. Maybe if we're going to be on the tablet for 30 minutes after dinner, then we also go for a 20-minute walk after dinner, or make it 50-50, right? But talk about what that is for your family. And I think having the same boundary for the adults and the kids is also helpful, so that you're all off of the electronics together. And you can, and you can do whatever it is. Maybe it's not fitness, but maybe it's that you want to play a board game. I don't know, but whatever works for your family. But I think having the boundaries for the adults and the kids works really well. And just keeping like a delicate balance there. Like, I'm not saying you can't go on the tablet, but maybe however much time you spend on the electronics, you also spend outside playing.
That's right. I like that. And I like how you say everyone needs to be accountable. So it's not the parents saying you get off your stuff. You got to get off your phone too. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it makes for better quality relationships with our family members, with our loved ones. It's worth the inconvenience. Now, my next question to you, oh man, did I forget this question? Okay, so someone who's watching, who's saying, all right, I've heard you. It's not the first time you've come on, Dr. Quirk, and talked about exercise. I am going to attempt a family meeting to start this conversation, but they're scared. They're a little nervous, like, oh, what's gone into her? Any words of encouragement before we wrap up?
Yeah. I think, again, just, the family meeting can be very short. And I think you can say, let's try something new. I have an idea, whatever you want to pitch. Maybe we want to go for a walk after dinner on the weekend, or whatever it is. But whatever you decide after you look at your calendar and you feel out all the people at the dinner table. But start small, right? And if you want to go for a hike, right, you don't have to climb Mount Everest. We're going to keep it simple, right? So we want to keep it easy for everyone and a low barrier of entry. So not much equipment and very low cost. And I feel like that will help to satisfy all the objections that come up, but just start with a small amount of time and work up from there. That's my best advice.
I love it. She said, keep it short, keep your pitch short. Okay. And good luck. Okay. This is good, Doc. This is good. I have people who are watching who are like, I like this Dr. Quirk because she's a run coach. I need a run coach. And before we go ahead, can you talk real briefly? I'm going to put you on the spot here. Success stories. Patients, clients that you've helped become runners too.
Yeah. Let me give you a recent one. So I had a woman who she was primarily into triathlons, which is like a swim, bike, run, but not really a runner. I don't think that she would have said that she was a runner. Like that was probably her least favorite part of the triathlon piece.
Okay.
And she would do those for fun. And she kind of got roped into signing up for the New York City Marathon. It's a long story how that happened, but so she signed up and she was running for a charity. That was part of it. I wonder whoever pitched her friend, what she said, but she got her to sign up and train for the New York City Marathon with this charity. And she really, I mean, the training cycle, right? Lots of ups and downs, but this is someone who really didn't do a lot of long distance running before that. And yeah, like it was tough, lots of ups and downs, but she finished the New York City Marathon. And you know, after saying sometimes during the training, like, I'm not sure I'm ever going to do this again, after she finished the race, she was like, well, I think I could do it faster next time. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I have a question.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh, hi, Adrienne. Thank you for joining. She says, I work out 3 to 4 days a week. She said, I put in the work without fussing. She said, without fussing, how can I get my husband to work out?
Yes. Well, I guess the first question is, would he want to do the same activity that you do, right? Like, find out what he likes to do. You may not know, and he may not know yet, but if he would like the same activity, I think that would be really nice and really easy. But sometimes it's not always easy. Like if you are a runner, for example, and your partner is not. But same thing, right? Like if you have a runner and a cyclist pair, that works out great. Or if you go to a gym and they have another option for the other person. But yeah, but I think start small. Even if he just comes out for 10 minutes or works out with you for 10 minutes of your, 30 or 40 minute workout, that it'll grow from there. It really will.
I like that. Make the focus about him, what he likes, not what you like him to do.
Yeah. And also, if you are like certain sports, well, I've always go to running. That's what I, work primarily in, but running and triathlons and these races, like there are often different races that you can get family members in for. So like a lot of people do turkey trots at Thanksgiving. That's usually like a 5K race on Thanksgiving Day. And it's, a lot of people, I think, do those with their family and maybe they don't run the rest of the year, but they'll do a yearly turkey trot, like something like that, like where, find something that it's sort of maybe I would do that. And then say, hey, there's this event. Want to do it together? I signed you up.
I signed you. Okay, I like that. I signed you up. She gave feedback. She said he's a truck driver. I would not do my workout. He's more into weights. So I think we have a little lead on with he likes weights more than the workout.
Would you be into doing weights with him? Like, can you go to the gym together to do the weights or do it in your house together where you do a workout video and like he's doing weights and you're doing core over here in the corner kind of thing?
That's a good one. You do his workout. That's good. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Quirk. This is good. We're going to do this again, of course, in a couple months. For those who are wondering, Doc, who are saying, I want you to come on their platform, come talk, come give tips on how to help improve fitness ratings in families and beyond. Doc, where can people find you?
Yeah, probably the best place is my website. It's mindful-marathon.com. And for all of you out there, if you do want to walk and you want like a little plan to put on the fridge for your family, you can download that from the website. It's for free. It's a 1-month walk plan. It starts very low and goes up from there.
All right. And I put that at the bottom of the screen as well, the mindful-marathon.com, the website. She has a lot of good info. You can sign up for her newsletter as well to get more tips to encourage you passively and actively get to moving. Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. This was good. Always a delight. Yeah. And she's on YouTube too. She's on YouTube, by the way. So you can watch her videos as well. But thank you so much, Doc, for coming. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Always a joy to talk to you.
Likewise. All right, everyone, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you, those who watch live and in replay. As always, like, subscribe, forward this, share this, tag this to people who could find this useful. You never know who this could help make their quality and quantity of life better. As always, if you or anyone you know is looking for an awesome, a thorough and compassionate family physician in the Mansfield, Texas area, and if you don't know one, but you know someone who needs one, just send them my way. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much, Doc.
Bye.